If you have a cracked leather sofa that looks 10 years older than it is, a car seat that flakes every time you sit down, or a leather jacket hanging in your closet that has gone stiff and dull, the leather care industry has been selling you a $30 solution to a $3 problem for decades. There is a single natural oil available at any tack shop, farm supply store, or online retailer for $3 to $5 that restores cracked, stiff, and dried leather to soft and supple condition by penetrating the fiber structure and replacing exactly the oils the leather has lost. Not by coating the surface, not by masking the damage with silicone shine. By rebuilding the internal fiber lubrication that keeps leather flexible from the inside out. A leather restoration professional charges $50 to $200 to condition a cracked sofa. Automotive detailers charge $40 to $80 to treat cracked car seat leather. Branded leather conditioners from Lexol, Chemical Guys, and Leather Honey retail for $15 to $30 per bottle. $3 to $5 of pure neatsfoot oil from the farm supply store contains the same active conditioning mechanism that every professional in every one of those categories is charging you 10 times the cost to access. The leather care product market generates nearly $4 billion annually in the United States alone. That market depends on one assumption: that leather requires specialized branded chemistry to survive. It does not. It requires the same animal-derived oil that saddlemakers have applied to leather for centuries. They stopped telling you that the moment it became more profitable to sell you a branded bottle instead. If these stories matter to you, hit subscribe and the bell. New band knowledge drops every week. Now let me take you back to where leather care begins. Leather is animal skin. Specifically, it is animal skin that has been treated with tannins or other compounds to prevent decomposition and preserve the fiber structure indefinitely. The tanning process converts raw hide into a stable, durable material, but it does not change one fundamental property of skin. Skin contains natural oils produced in life by sebaceous glands that lubricate the protein fiber network and keep it flexible. When an animal is alive, those oils are continuously replenished. When hide becomes leather, that replenishment stops permanently. From the moment leather is tanned, it begins a slow process of oil loss through evaporation, cleaning, exposure to heat and sunlight, and simple use. As the oils deplete, the protein fibers in the leather begin to dry, stiffen, and eventually crack along stress lines. That crack in your car seat is not age. It is dehydration of a protein fiber network that has not been replenished in years. Ancient Egyptians and Mesopotamians understood this problem and solved it with animal fats and fish oils rubbed directly into leather goods to replace what time and use had removed. Roman legions maintained their leather armor, sandals, and harnesses with rendered animal fats because cracked leather armor in the field was a tactical liability, not just an aesthetic one. Medieval European saddlemakers developed the first formalized leather dressing protocols, establishing the application of animal-derived oils as standard craft practice in every guild from London to Florence. The compound they reached for most consistently was rendered cattle bone oil, what we now call neatsfoot oil. The name comes from the Old English word for cattle, neat, and the oil is rendered from the shin bones and feet of bovine animals. It remains liquid at room temperature, unlike most animal fats, which made it uniquely practical for leather application across climates ranging from the Scottish Highlands to the Sahara. Saddlemakers in the American West used it on every saddle, bridle, and harness that left their shops throughout the 19th century. The United States military used it on cavalry equipment throughout the Civil War and continued using it on leather gear into the 20th century. It was common knowledge, common practice, and commonly available until a $4 billion industry decided that common knowledge was not profitable enough. Now, let me show you exactly what this oil does inside leather fiber, because the mechanism explains why nothing in a branded bottle fundamentally improves on it. Leather is composed primarily of collagen fibers, the same structural protein found in tendons and connective tissue. These fibers are woven together in a complex three-dimensional network that gives leather its strength and flexibility. Between those fibers, natural oils act as a lubricant, allowing them to slide against each other when leather flexes without the fibers abrading and breaking. When those oils are gone, the fibers bind against each other under stress. Flex the leather and fibers tear instead of slide. That is what a crack in leather actually is, a line of fiber failure caused by friction between unlubricated collagen strands. Neatsfoot oil has a molecular structure derived from bovine fatty acids, oleic acid being the primary component, that allows it to penetrate through the surface of the leather into the fiber network below. It does not sit on the surface the way silicone-based conditioners do. It moves into the fiber structure and coats the individual collagen strands, restoring the lubrication layer that prevents friction failure. A study on leather preservation conducted by the Cultural Heritage Conservation Community found that neatsfoot oil and lanolin treatments measurably improved the mechanical properties of aged leather samples compared to untreated controls, with treated samples retaining significantly more tear strength over time. The same research found that surface coating products showed no measurable improvement in fiber strength, only surface appearance. The fiber penetration is the mechanism that matters. Surface shine is what the branded industry sells you instead. Before I go further, I need to be direct about what neatsfoot oil does and does not do, because your leather depends on accurate information. Always use 100% pure neatsfoot oil, never neatsfoot oil compound or prime neatsfoot oil, which are blends containing mineral oil. Mineral oil does not penetrate leather fiber the same way pure neatsfoot oil does, and over time, it can interfere with the leather's structure rather than support it. On light-colored or cream leather, neatsfoot oil will darken the hide. Always test on a hidden area before full application. Do not over-apply. Too much oil leaves a tacky surface that attracts dust and can eventually weaken fiber structure. A little goes a long way, and more is not better. Neatsfoot oil is not suitable for suede or nubuck, which have a napped surface that oil treatment will matte and discolor permanently. For patent leather or heavily lacquered modern leather, the coating prevents penetration and oil sits on the surface. Use a surface conditioner for these. And do not apply to leather that is actively wet. Allow it to dry completely before treatment. Now here's exactly how to use it on every leather surface in your home and vehicle. Buy a bottle of 100% pure neatsfoot oil. Fiebing's Pure Neatsfoot Oil is the most widely available food-grade formulation and retails for $3 to $5 at farm supply stores, tack shops, and online. The bottle must say 100% pure, not compound, not blend. For a cracked leather sofa or chair, begin by wiping the surface with a clean, damp cloth to remove surface dust and oils. Allow to dry completely, at least 30 minutes. Pour a small amount of neatsfoot oil onto a clean, lint-free cloth, never directly onto the leather. Apply in small circular motions across a section, working the oil into the surface rather than wiping across it. Use less than you think you need. A thin, even coat that the leather visibly absorbs is correct. Allow the first coat to absorb for 2 to 4 hours. If the leather is severely cracked and dry, apply a second thin coat after the first has fully absorbed. Do not apply more than 2 coats in a single session. Give the leather 24 hours before assessing whether further treatment is needed. For car seat leather, the same protocol applies. Clean first, dry completely, apply thin coat, allow absorption. Pay particular attention to the crease lines where the seat folds when you sit, as these are the highest stress points and the first to crack. A single treatment session on badly cracked car seats typically shows significant improvement within 24 hours, as the oil absorbs and the fibers rehydrate. For leather jackets and boots, apply the oil in the same way and hang or stuff the item to maintain its shape during the absorption period. For leather that has already cracked, oil treatment will stop the cracking from progressing and soften the existing cracks. It cannot physically fill cracks that have already formed, but it prevents them from widening and restores flexibility around them. A furniture restorer in Georgia documented applying pure neatsfoot oil to a set of cracked leather dining chairs that a professional had quoted $400 to restore. After 2 treatment sessions over a weekend, the cracking had stopped progressing, the leather had softened substantially, and the chairs looked presentable enough to keep using indefinitely. Total material cost was $6. The professional had recommended a specialty conditioning service using products that, when traced back to their ingredient lists, contained neatsfoot oil and beeswax as the primary active components. Museum leather conservators at institutions preserving centuries-old saddles, armor, and bookbindings use neatsfoot oil and lanolin as their primary treatment compounds, because penetrating fiber chemistry is the only approach that preserves structural integrity over centuries. The same compound that keeps a Civil War cavalry saddle intact in a museum archive is the same compound sitting on the shelf at your local farm supply store for $5. The professional leather restoration industry applies neatsfoot oil behind closed doors and charges 300% markup for the labor of applying it with a cloth. That markup exists not because the chemistry is complicated, but because most customers have no idea what is actually in the product being applied to their furniture. The ingredient lists of major branded leather conditioners, retailing for $15 to $20, consistently show emulsified fatty acids as the primary active conditioning components. The fatty acid chemistry in branded leather conditioners is derived from the same animal fat sources as neatsfoot oil, rendered, refined, emulsified, and repackaged at a markup of 300 to 600%. The branded industry does not improve on the chemistry of neatsfoot oil. It improves on the packaging, the scent, and the marketing narrative. When a detailer charges $40 to $80 to condition your car seats, the product cost to that detailer is under $2 per application. The service fee is not for specialized chemistry, it is for the labor and the assumption that you do not know what is in the bottle. Every saddlemaker in America knows what neatsfoot oil is and uses it on working leather that needs to survive decades of hard use. The residential consumer does not know because no one with a marketing budget has any reason to tell them. The price difference is the brand, the bottle, and the television advertising behind it. Walk into any tack shop in rural America and you will find pure neatsfoot oil on the shelf for $3 to $5. The same product that cavalry saddlemakers used for 2 centuries. Walk into any automotive detailing supply store and the same fatty acid chemistry costs $15 to $40 in a branded bottle with a marketing campaign behind it. The leather care industry built a $4 billion market, not by improving the chemistry, but by making the original chemistry invisible. They replaced common knowledge with brand names, replaced craft tradition with product lines, and replaced a $5 solution with a $30 subscription. Lexol, chemical guys, leather honey. Every major brand in the leather care market is selling you a variation of what saddle makers have known for centuries. The formulations differ in fragrance, consistency, and packaging. The active conditioning mechanism does not. The leather fiber in your cracked sofa is the same collagen protein structure that Roman soldiers maintained with rendered fat 2,000 years ago. The chemistry of the solution has not changed. What changed was a $4 billion market that sells you the same active ingredient at 10 times the cost. The $5 bottle at the farm supply store has always been there. The leather care industry simply made sure you were looking at a different shelf. Your leather sofa did not start cracking because it is old. It started cracking because no one told you it needed $3 of oil once a year. The saddlemaker, who built cavalry equipment in 1870, knew that. If this vault opened something for you today, subscribe and share this video now. Every share puts a $3 leather restoration solution in the hands of someone who just paid $40 for a branded bottle of the same active ingredient. Every subscription keeps this channel digging into the vaults they thought were sealed forever. The next vault opens soon.